up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, Superion, the controversy, the hate, the mixed reception that it has been getting the past, week and a half, 2 weeks now since it has been revealed at CybertronCon. It seems like every month we get a sort of like polarizing reveal within the Transformers community that sort of splits the fandom into two different sides, a side that really likes the figure or a side that really hates it. And I guess there's like a third side in the middle where they don't really hate it, they don't really love it, they're just on it, you know. But I don't know, I'm kind of somebody that's like in the middle of it. I think it looks good, especially if you're going for like G1 cartoon accuracy. You know, the frame body design definitely works, and I think that's what they're going to do with most of the G1 cartoon combiners if they want that cartoon accuracy. I can understand why people don't like it, but I also understand why people think it is the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. Because we really haven't gotten an accurate G1 cartoon Superion ever in the last 40 years of this franchise, and this is the closest thing that we have gotten to it since 1984. And I really got to commend Hasbro in terms of that aspect of it, because it's really not easy designing combiners from the G1 cartoon, because it's a bunch of car parts with blocks glued to it, it looks like, from the cartoon. And getting that in physical toy form is as hard as doing the most dynamic Bayverse design you can find for a Studio Series figure. Like, it's pretty crazy how they were able to pull that off with Superion and Manosaur. So if you look on Hasbro Pulse and multiple websites and stuff, they're still in stock: Slingshot, Air Raid, Silverbolt. And you look at other characters in the wave, the 13 Primes, and just the overall hype of all the other characters in the wave seem to be a lot more prevalent online than for the new aerial bots. I mean, even Animated Wasp is getting a ton of love. He's not selling out everywhere like the Primes in the wave, but there's a lot of people going crazy over him because we finally have an Animated Wasp in the main line after him being canceled 15 years ago. So that in itself is just crazy for that first wave. But you look at the aerial bots, ton of people saying that they already have the Combiner Wars versions, they don't need another one, they hate that they can't, mix and match the limbs like you could do with the original Combiner Wars figure. They hate the absolute slavish G1 cartoon accuracy with the body frame combiner design. A lot of people didn't like that with Manosaur, and that's going to continue with Superion here. We're already starting to see that. It's complaints that I can understand, because I love me some IDW designs for the combiners more than the G1 designs. I would love to see mix and matching limbs like what we got with Combiner Wars done in the modern era with some IDW-centric designs and just better engineering and articulation and transformations that we get generally now than we did back in 2015 with Combiner Wars 10 years ago. So I can understand certain aspects, but saying it's worse than the Combiner Wars version when we don't even have the other two members out yet. We don't even know what they look like. We don't even have description leaks on what those two deluxes are gonna be. And you're already saying the Combiner Wars one is better? I don't know. I think people like that are jumping the gun a little bit here. I can understand if we've already seen all of the members, but right now I really can't say the Combiner Wars figure is better. And if I were to say, I would have to agree with people that say that the new one is better than the Combiner Wars figure, because it seems like the overall engineering, articulation, and transformation of this overall combiner team seems to be a lot more interesting and just better and updated for the modern times than what we got in Combiner Wars. Combiner Wars, you got the freaking legs for the forearms and biceps, so it's got big gaping holes on all of the limbs. You get awkward articulation, like I'm pretty sure there's no ankle pivot. And the way they move the biceps and the knees, because of it being the legs for the actual robot modes themselves, it creates for some awkward movement too. And you really don't get any of that, it looks like, with the new Superion here, because it has ankle pivot, it has actual good working knees and elbows that aren't made out of the legs of an actual inner robot. So I think that in itself just makes the new version way better. And he's going to be a little bit bigger than the Combiner Wars figure, which fits more in scale with the general charts and what we get nowadays with figures. And even back then, the Combiners were a little too small. So seeing these updated like Menasor and Superion that are a bit bigger really does make it a hell of a lot better on your shelves when you're putting it with figures, and especially older figures from 10, 15, 20 years ago. The original classics and generations, it looks a lot better with those as well in terms of scale. So overall, I would have to say that I generally agree with people that really like the Superion. I think it's made a ton of well-deserved upgrades over the Combiner Wars figure in terms of engineering, height, articulation, functionality. And I just don't think the Combiner Wars one is going to hold up when it's all said and done later on in 2025 when the whole aerial bot team is out there for people to get. And I think a lot more people are going to realize that the new set is a lot better once we see more reviews and images of all the members together later on next year. And the Combiner Wars one is probably going to go in the trash or on eBay for a lot of collectors by this time next year. Mark my words, guys. But then again, like I said earlier, there are a couple points that I could agree with people that absolutely hate the figure. The slavish G1 design is a bit boring. There's a couple mediocre parts in terms of, Silverbolt being a commander class again, and the way they handled Slingshot and Air Raid. There's a couple, because of them being deluxes instead of Voyagers, they're not as solid looking as they can be for their vehicle and robot modes. So arguments like that I can understand and I do agree with, but overall saying that the new one is worse than the original Combiner Wars, I can't get with. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to talk about the overall split opinions here in the community between the new Superion reveal. Let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about this new Superion figure? Do you think it's going to be great or do you not? All of my social medias are linked down below, including my email if you guys want to hit me up about business inquiries, if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, photography, or your regular display shelves in your homes. You can either hit me up on any of my social media accounts or just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye!